Welcome to the mayor debate of Lazuli SMP Season 5. The candidates are Nikki and Hiatus. Hiatus will be answering first. The first question is, are there any rules that you plan to change or add?
I think so far the rules are like pretty good. There's none that I'd personally change.
Alright, what about you, Nikki?
I'm gonna take the same stance as Hiatus. I think all the rules currently on the server are very fair. So there wouldn't be anything that I would necessarily change, but I believe if anyone on the server had something that they disagreed with, I might be opening to discussing it, but I doubt there'd be anything that I change majorly.
Next question is, how will you encourage new players to feel welcome and get involved in the SMP?
So as you saw by my little manifesto, I've started making the little starter kits. So they'll have the iron armor, the iron tools, and they can go off and do whatever while they've got their little kit with them. And then I will supply them with a few diamonds and a bit of food so then they can survive.
Okay. What about you, Nikki?
I'm actually going to give Hiatus some credit for the starter pack integration in your manifesto. I think it is definitely something that should be on the server. I think we maybe should have implemented it a little bit earlier, but I will also say something that with Hiatus wanting to move forward in the economy by moving it to netherite as our main currency, I think that could be a bit of a damage to new players, considering she's the one that's all kind of going in on capitalizing with them. But if we're moving to netherite, how do we know that they're going to be able to get it very easily? And plus, we're going to be not giving them very much, because then be just a little bit too much, obviously. So that's why I think that diamonds should stay the main currency, because I think that'll help main players, new players. So if we're giving them iron, they can obviously go mine for diamonds pretty easily.
Okay, that's a good compromise. All right. Next question is, what are your top 3 priorities if you become mayor, and how do you plan to achieve them? Edis.
Okay, so I was asking people about this. There was lighting in the spawn because there are way too many mobs that spawn there. You need to add more lighting. There's also the Nether hub that I was planning to build because there's no safety there. You get shot by gas as soon as you go in. And at spawn, building like little hotels and stuff, so then people can go sleep there and not have to worry about the phantoms.
Okay. Nikki, your turn.
I would, the second I get into office, I'm going to prioritize getting a judicial system integrated, because obviously I know a lot of people are obviously wanting to sue each other, but we also have a few federal cases that I think a lot of people are trying to push for. But I also think that having a House of Commons for people to like vote on a different system, vote on a few different things, new mods and new laws, I think that would be very important, so people get more of a say. And then I also think that having a labor department would be very important, because a lot of players are going offline now. We're getting to the stage of the SMP where a lot of people will start going offline. But big builds are a way to keep each other online, but a problem is big builds are very big, so we can't get resources as easily. So I think that being able to hire other players could be very crucial to boosting the server's player count and player base concurrently.
All right. Yeah. Good reasoning. Next question is, how did you get started in the SMP, and what keeps you coming back, Titus?
So the big build I'm doing, I started like at the start of this month maybe, and I come on at least every day. Like there's probably been 1 or 2 days where I haven't come on, because I've got the carnival building at the moment. I'm still doing that. That was the biggest pain in the butt ever. But I've also said like I'm gonna start doing other builds in spawn, like little attractions that can go around everywhere.
Okay. Nikki.
I started in the server from season 1 just because prior connections from like old SMPs. But like what keeps me coming back most days, I would say every day, but there's a few days here and there where I'm not online. But I think that seeing the server grow and evolve is definitely something that keeps me coming back because I really enjoy seeing some of the builds pop up. I like having the quests. I mean, that's very fun to complete, but yeah.
Okay. If you were to adopt a city mascot, what would it be and why? Alan suggested this.
A city mascot.
Yeah.
Do you know that picture that I have of Alan's character with feet?
Okay. Nikki.
I haven't put much thought into this, but I honestly think an armadillo would be pretty good, just because they're some of the less. It's one of the lesser common mobs, but it would be nice to have as the mascot, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Next question is: what's your plan to punish Minecraft members who break the rules? Jail time, torture. Sin suggested this, by the way.
Oh.
I guess.
Leave him in the room with Sin while they're listening to music.
That's I will say that's a good way to lose your campaign manager, being rude to them. But fair point. I mean, I've said this about multiple players. I've said it about Alan. I've said it about Alex. I think trial, but also to be fair, they were just being put to trial because of stuff they said. I think that I would just, kind of put them in a bedrock box, obsidian box, put them in some sort of prison. I mean, we've done it before too, so.
All right. Next question is: are there any mods you would like to add for new currencies? Titus.
I haven't really looked, to be honest. I'm pretty content with the iron and the diamond.
Okay, Nikki.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing. I don't really look at currency mods to add.
Okay. Are there any buildings or fun activities that you are planning to add to the SMP?
Well, you already know about this one. Like I said, more attractions that spawn. Probably not at spawn specifically, but around. I was like, because I've already got the aquarium there and the carnival. I was thinking about a zoo. Having people help bring like different mobs like 1,000 blocks away. That's fun.
Oh, part of the question is: in what ways would you obtain said currencies? Like working, everyone gets a couple free. This is for the mod currencies, like currencies for mods. Okay, let me read the second half of the question. So, in what ways would you obtain said currencies, like working, everyone gets a couple free, government that pays you for doing said quests or jobs?
Well, you can add them in the quests as well. That's one good thing. And then if some people have a few, you can be like, oh, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? You know, like paying people to do stuff for you.
Yeah, okay. Nikki?
Yeah, I'm gonna say add them into the quest as well. But I think like a separate currency that you could not. I don't know about that, but again, I think I'm pretty content with the current currency system. I think a lot of other people are as well. So I wouldn't change anything major that would upset most people unless they wanted it to be.
Okay. What will you do about the homeless that refuse support in city services? It is.
Well, I already said the hotel. It's gonna be a free stay in there anyways. There's gonna be a couple rooms.
Okay, Nikki?
Yeah, I do have 2 major skyscrapers planned that are going to have not just hotels, but major long stay apartments that you could stay in. They'll have more than just the basics like chests, crafting tables, and furnaces. I plan on giving them smithing tables so they could stay there as long as they want until they really need to build a house. It'll have crafting terminals, storage terminals, everything like that.
Okay. This upcoming question we've kind of covered before, but are there any other strategies you propose to boost the SMP's economy? Hiatus.
Well, yeah, just giving the what's it called, the starter kits with the free diamonds in them for people who start. Then there's like giving people little jobs if they want them.
Okay. Yeah. Nikki.
I'm gonna say very good way at dodging the question, kind of. I do want to. I know I said earlier that I think netherite should not be the main currency, but that is also main currency. I have in my manifesto that I believe there should be a secondary currency, and I think that should be netherite, just because it is becoming slightly too easy to get diamonds. For some of the legacy players, I'll call them, just ones that have been on for most of the time, already have dragon armor and stuff like that. But it'll affect the new players, so I just want to make it an option if people would like to pay with netherite.
Yeah. Okay. What's one positive thing you admire about your fellow candidate, Hiatus?
I admire the I'm thinking of the word consistency. Nikki, I've seen them on quite a lot. Even though, like I said, they was inactive. No. They're very consistent with the server. I see them talking around a lot with other people. Very friendly to be around.
Okay. Nikki.
I like some of Hiatus's plans on what she would do with the server as she was elected. Some of them that I might adopt if I were elected. I definitely think she has a good plan with the homeless stuff. But I was already kind of planning on doing something sort of similar. And I think that the starter kits were a very good idea.
Okay. What new features or events would you introduce to make the SMP more engaging?
Loads of mini games. Like Spleef.
Okay. Yeah. That's good. Nikki.
I think adding a sports mod to the server would be very beneficial because, I mean, obviously I've built this whole arena for some sort of fighting sports. So I think having this arena get used for, I mean, more than just this debate and then the one-off fight between Mitch and whoever else. I think it would be very fun to add real sports mods so we can use this arena for what it was built for.
Yeah. Good plans. Okay, so are there any mods? I know I've already like asked this about currency mods. Are there any mods at all that you would like to add to improve the server?
To be honest, I haven't really been looking at mods. The fabric mods are so hard to find.
Yeah, that's fair. Nikki?
I kind of just mentioned it. I think a sports mod would be very nice. I haven't looked into them very deeply, but I'm pretty sure there is at least one for 121 in Fabric.
How will you fund the building of additional housing and necessary support services? Highness.
Well, I will personally be there to help anyways. I will get materials. I'll see if Air will help me as well because he offers to do most of the stuff to help me anyways. And if if anyone also wants to help, they can help so as they want.
Okay, Nikki.
I have multiple farms that are able to produce blocks or any building materials that we would need for buildings. I obviously have the sheep farm, but I'd be glad to provide any sort of wool for affordable housing building. I have the forest behind the city of Rockford that I use for farming blocks. I have multiple types of trees in there, so I mean, it'd be pretty easy for me to gather a bunch of different materials for the use of affordable housing, and I'd be glad to provide them.
Okay, good. How often do you usually play on the SMP, and do you think you will continue to play during the second month? Titus.
Yeah, I've played a lot, but I'll definitely still play because I love this SMP. It's so fun to be on.
Okay, Nikki.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna play for a second month. I'm on most days, so.
Okay, that might be it for the questions. Are there any questions you guys would like to ask in the chat? Let's see. Post your questions in the chat right now. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Will the new mayor help out with the Lazuli theater I'm planning on making?
I'd be perfectly willing to help. Yeah.
Hiatus?
Yeah, I'll happily sit there and gather materials, help build, etc.
Okay. Oh yeah, and then Alan had a long question here. Given the multifaceted nature of managing a Minecraft server, which involves balancing resource allocation, player engagement, and infrastructure development, how do you intend to design and implement a comprehensive strategy that addresses the following? 1. The distribution of limited resources to prevent monopolization by a few players while ensuring that essential materials are accessible to the broader community. 2. The creation of a robust conflict resolution system that effectively handles disputes over land ownership, project permissions, and in-game behavior with a focus on fairness and transparency. And 3. The integration of new game updates, mods, or plugins in a manner that enhances the server's gameplay experience without causing disruptions or I'm not going to continue. Would you like to answer?
Okay, Alex, can you repeat the first part, like number 1?
The first one is what I agree on. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. In what ways will you strategically prioritize and allocate server resources to balance the needs of both infrastructure development and individual player projects, while also ensuring long-term sustainability?
Would you like to answer that first, Hiatus?
No, you go.
Well, I mean, we could just replant a lot of trees, if we're really focused on, cutting down trees for wood. But I also think that it is a problem because we're getting a lot of nether theme builds now. So if we're gonna eventually have a problem with running out of nether resources, so for that, I mean, that's not exactly regeneratable. I guess. So for that, I don't know. But if we're trying to balance it, I mean, stores sell things, and that's mainly exactly how they do it. Yeah.
All right, we're going to the next
Thank
question. Yeah, Alan is giving some very. What will you do to ensure that player feedback is heard and acted upon in the decision-making process for server improvements? Titus.
I have the little the little suggestion thing at the front of my shop anyway, and I do check on that regularly. Most of the time, it just says bread, and the other day it said cocaine. I don't know why,
Okay.
but I tend to check that every other time, and I also check the one that's the spawn server suggestion as well.
Yeah, I'm confident that Alan did not write this himself. Anyway, what
Well,
steps...
I wanna answer this
Oh yeah,
because
right. Sorry.
Titus, I do. I'm very happy that you do have a suggestions book outside of your shop. But if we're honest here, I did do that first. That was a Discord channel, or not even a channel, a
No.
forum post where I asked for players' issues.
My one was there out the front before.
You had that for a response. You had that for a response.
No. Yeah, and then like basically the same day I changed it to the suggestion.
Ah, right. Okay. Well, I'm also gonna add, in my manifesto, I did originally have Alan's trial left off, and I also neglected to mention. Well, I also just left something out that Kaleo did want. So I added that to my manifesto because I honestly thought it was a good point. It might boost server morale. It could do a lot. So I'm actively reaching out to voters. I believe that we should institute some sort of bonus for players that run shops with essential items like food, armor, and weapons. What that bonus is, I believe that most people should vote on, especially the shop owners, because they're going through a length to provide a lot of people with items that they really need. So if they want some sort of pushback or kickback from that, I think they should be able to get that. And then I mentioned it earlier, but I think a labor department would be very nice because it's gonna boost player morale. It's a little more payment for some of these players. It'll allow us to oversee new builds and issue work licenses. that'll have players stick to some sort of bound contract, I guess, that has a set payment. And then I think we should implement cat houses around the spawn. This is something that Kaleo suggested. Have cat homes around the spawn and like common areas that'll have cats in it. Might have dog houses as well. I don't know, but I think it would be able to boost some sort of morale. Have players be able to play with cats at spawn. And then that's about it. So you should definitely elect me as mayor because, I mean, one, Hiatus is British. She's obviously we're gonna have to deal with some time zone differences. I checked, and 26 of our players are from North America or have a time zone that's based in the West and would kind of align with most of our player base. We only have 11 that are outside of North America and South America. That is a definite problem because obviously she's only able to be online during hours that would really make sense inside of the UK.
I just said I had no clothes and things. Also, about the time zone differences, I am up probably about 8 o'clock in the morning every morning for me, for my time, which is like about 12 p.m. at night for like people in California. So I'm up all night for my time and other people's time. I don't sleep.
I did check. A majority of our players are in Central and Eastern Standard Time.
I don't sleep, bro.
That's it for the debate. You guys can vote on Tuesday the 30th of July. It'll be all day in-game. You have to vote in-game, so make sure to log on the server that day. And I'll give an announcement saying how you can vote. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for attending, or if you're watching the video. And that is it.